Monday, November 17th, 2025. I'm here with Rebecca George, who took photos at the November 1st Jazz Parade. And she's the only professional photographer who Indivisible Charlottesville has so far worked with. The pictures were just amazing. Tell us how you prepared yourself, what your expectations were.
Yeah, I was super excited about it. I have a really good friend, Susan McCulley, who I knew was doing choreography for y'all, and that's how I heard about this. She had been keeping me up to date on this really cool group of people was putting this parade together, and it's every time I met, she would give me the update and was just building a lot of excitement over it. And as I was hearing about it from her, I could just picture it in my mind. It's going to be such a great photo opportunity. I was just like itching to get out there and take pictures. So yeah, so I just had asked her to fill me in on the details and outline the plan for me, and I just joined in. So it was great.
So she gave you the detailed run of show.
She
Parade
did,
starts
yeah.
here, stops
Yep.
here. Okay.
Yeah, I was super lucky to be able to have all of that from her. So kind of picture what was going to happen. I was familiar with the mall, and I knew you were starting at the pavilion and doing some processing down, and something would happen at the code building and then processing back. So I did have the overall. I didn't have all the details of it, and I was so excited to just see how it unfolded. But I had enough to definitely pique my interest and also give me some structure about how to photograph it.
Had you ever done anything like the
No.
parade or an
I've never
outdoor?
done a parade. I've definitely showed up and photographed at protests, and I love the energy of it. Yeah, and this just seemed like that times 10.
How was this different from, say, what you had done before at other protests?
The excitement level was definitely there. Having an idea of what was actually going to happen, like the street theater aspect of it. I mean, you go to a protest and you don't really know what's going to happen, but you're just kind of there, like looking for photo ops. This has had a narrative arc, and that definitely made it a
Yeah.
different experience.
How did
Yeah.
you try and prepare yourself for the moment?
I'm from Charlottesville. I spend time on the downtown mall. If I had not known that area really well, I would have gone down and scouted it out. But since I could kind of run through it in my mind, I didn't feel like I needed to do that. I would say if you don't know the area, you definitely want to go look and see where's the sun and what's going to be happening, where there are obstacles. I think it's nice to also know places you feel like you can get good perspectives from. So yeah, just having an idea of the space is a good idea.
If other groups and other cities want to do something like this, what's your sage advice to them?
Well, I think definitely knowing what the plan is, having an idea of what the events are and what are specific locations where something's going to happen. So the photographers can prepare for that, be sure that they're going to have a good angle, clear line of sight. That's really important. I think also maybe it's important to know the big players in it. If we're doing this to draw attention to a cause, what's the best way to spread that message, right? And so we had some big names. We had some names with social media followings in this, and knowing who they are and being able to get pictures of them, I think
Mm.
is key to having the photographs spread more widely. And you get great pictures of them and they have a social media following, then they're going to be likely to share those photos. People are going to look at them because they follow that person, and it's going to bring more attention to it. I feel like that's a good way to nurture the spread
Mm.
of the photos from what you're doing. So I would definitely say just really being prepared for all of that, like knowing who's there, who's important to photograph, what's going to happen, what the story arc is. Other than that, general photographic advice, is that kind of what you're looking for here? Yeah,
Whatever you
yeah.
think might be helpful. Yeah.
Okay. I tend to photograph trying to be as invisible as possible at these things because I don't want people to pose for the photos. I want to get what's happening and I want to get the realness of it. I can scoot through the crowd and find location and don't really draw attention to myself, right? Just focusing on what's happening and trying to capture those authentic moments. Technically speaking, I think it's really important to think about, this is one thing that I did kind of run through my mind to prepare before, is shooting from different angles. We all see the world at eye level, right? That's the view you have of things. And so if you think about photos that are going to be a little more scroll stopping or attention getting, they're usually a different perspective. So if you can get up high and look down, that's one reason that drone photos are fantastic, right? Because it's a completely different view than we have of life. So I'm pretty short. I like look for a chair or a table or something or a wall I can stand up on. and get a view from above, and getting views from down low. So I like crouch down and get a view kind of angled up at someone. If you think about movie posters for superhero movies, they're always shot at an up angle, right? Because they, like really big and strong. And you're like, why
Yeah,
isn't I
yeah.
just get to see this with the camera on your phone? Just things like that are really interesting and fun things to play with, because that's not the angle that you see. Anybody who's standing there at the parade saw everything at eye level. If you suddenly are showing them photos that are from down low or from up high, then things look different. It's also important to capture wide shots and zoomed in shots. As a photographer, I usually have a harness on. I have two camera bodies, and I have a wide angle lens and a telephoto lens on the other camera. And so I can switch back and forth. And so just from standing in one spot, I can take a photo that's wide, shows the whole crowd, fill the whole frame with people. You can see there's so many people here. And then I can put that camera down, not even move, pick up my other camera and zoom in on somebody who's playing a flute and a look on their face. So it gives you, just from standing in one place, you've got two different stories, really, two different angles on what you're, the story you're trying to tell. So it's a lot of fun to do that. I think that another thing that's great to think about, because most people in their day-to-day lives are using their cameras on their phones and they're taking pictures in a vertical format, and that's what we see a lot of times online. That's when you show pictures on your phone, they're vertical format. Horizontal formats are important too. If you're thinking ahead about what you might be using these photos for, if they're going to go on a web page, you're probably going to want some horizontals, like a header on the page, get a lot of attention, right?
Yep,
If you've got
yep.
a big crowd, that's going to show up better in a horizontal format. So just remembering to not just take pictures like this, but to turn and do both. You can tell different stories with different aspect ratios, and there's different uses for them. So that's really important.
Do you have any tips in terms of that vertical versus horizontal with social
Mhm.
media in mind? I know with Facebook, a normal page likes this thing,
Right.
but an event page likes that thing.
I think one of the reasons that people do tend more toward verticals is because that shows up better on social media. The typical advice on Instagram is to use a vertical format because it takes up more space. And so you're getting more attention as you're scrolling through. But yeah, you do need to think in terms of where, on your Facebook page, you're going to use different things. The cover photos, the header on a Facebook page, it's horizontal, but it's also like narrow horizontal. But those
Yeah.
can be so powerful. I mean, you want to have a great image there. It can be really lush and a really great way to tell a story.
You were starting to say something when I jumped in about social media.
The other thing that I try to think about at events like this, and when I go to protests too, sometimes it's great to have some photos that don't show faces for certain purposes, right? You may not want to have to worry about someone's permission. You want to make sure that people are safe when you're posting photos. And there can be some really great photos that can have a lot of longevity and be really useful if you are not including people's faces. So maybe just above head level and you see a lot of signs, or in the case of this event, zooming in on instruments, kind of cropping out the faces that are there, but still getting the story that's going on, with
Did
some of
you
the details.
did you get some nice tuba shots of this one?
You know what? This is something I actually wish I had done more of. I did get some good shots of signs, I think,
Uh-huh.
but I do wish I had zoomed in a little more and gotten some of the details of just the instruments. I
I
was
was just kidding.
so yeah. I mean, I was
Yeah.
so taken by everybody who was playing. There was so much joy, and yeah, it was great.
It's been 2 weeks now. How do you process what that was like? And just any thoughts that have occurred to you in the 2 weeks once the excitement was just a little bit past?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I just want to do more of it. I'm pretty introverted. I don't go to a lot of parties. I don't do a lot of stuff like that. I can find it really exhausting. But at the end of this event, like right as it was ending, I had so much adrenaline and so much energy from it.
Really?
And I
That's
saw a friend of
great.
mine at the end, and she was like, "This is so great." And I'm like, "I know, we should do a jazz parade every weekend." Started
Every
laughing because I was
weekend,
like,
what what
I'm
what are we gonna do on
sure
the other
that the
five
the
days?
organizer the organizers were like, this was a lot of work. We're not doing it every weekend. but
Yeah,
but
I'm
yeah,
guessing that will be a tough sell.
but
Um,
anyway, it was a lot
yeah.
of fun. I really enjoyed it. I would totally do it again. Yeah, I loved it.
What was your sense of the crowd? Yeah, we think it was like 750 people
Oh yeah.
total at various times. And some of
Uh-huh.
the people who were having coffee on the little cafe tables, some of those people joined in, not most of
Yeah.
them. What was just your sense of that energy of the day?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I definitely saw some people like fall into it and get sucked along by it, get carried along by that energy and that wave moving down the mall, and that was really great. I remember overhearing somebody saying, like something like, what are these people doing? Oh, is it the protest? What's going on? Oh, there's signs. What's,
Yeah.
and that was so interesting. Signs were fantastic. They were not anything you could argue with. It didn't feel partisan so much as it just felt good issues that everybody could get behind.
Anything else about the event that has seemed salient?
I think that probably covers it. I think had such great energy and so much creativity, and just felt like such an inviting way to get together in community. I just would love to see more of this happen.
Okay. If we do these every weekend, you're at the top of the
I have to
photographer
do
list.
it.
Exactly. I mean, it's your idea. You can't
I'm
back
there.
out
I'm
now.
there.
Yeah. So let me leave with one final question.
Mhm.
I hate to indulge in stereotypes, but my sense is that photographers like to talk about their gear. Is there anything that you would like to divulge about what camera you used or what kind of lenses or anything like
I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy to share that. I started out on Canon years ago, and I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to change to a mirrorless camera, and at that time, Canon wasn't making one, so I switched to Sony. I love my Sony cameras. And like I said, I usually have a harness on that two camera bodies hang from. So I have one camera body with a 28 to 70 lens on it, and then one with a 70 to 180 lens on it. And that just allows me to have a lot of range. So both of those, some flexibility. They're not prime lenses. There's some like zooming that happens, but I can like zoom out and get the crowd. I can zoom in and get details. And that's really the way I like to shoot for this kind of event.
now the secrets are out. One thing I haven't said, pictures you took were just amazing.
Thank
People
you.
kind of stopped dead in their tracks. So having a professional photographer with those lenses that you just mentioned, whatever they were, the shots were just spectacular. So
Thank
thank
you.
you again. We really appreciated it. Just leave your calendar open for all the weekends in
For all the weekends that
2026.
we're going to have more
Yep,
jazz parades.
exactly.
I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
there. Just let me know.
And not all of them are jazz parades. There may just be some animal circus acts.
Oh, I
We
love
haven't
animals. That's
decided.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.